Today I'm going to do a much better job of showing you what I get up to today, because yesterday was literally 80% my face complaining about things. So yeah, today I'm going to go to a DX10. Customer phoned up yesterday, the starter motor started smoking and now the machine won't start. Come across that one before, haven't we? It's a different machine to the one that I did a couple of weeks ago, but we've got a starter motor on the van, so I'll head down towards the Lake District and sort that job out. And then there was another customer on the phone yesterday with a DX27, the Bobcat shape one. The quick hitch is intermittent. So they're the jobs to get round to today. And I'd like to get back to the yard because there's a roller to PDI and a bucket to take off a wheel digger as well. So right, DX10 starter motor. I'll show you this job in detail. Evidently I've not been doing a good job of that lately. It's snowing, look. Could not believe it. I was on the phone to a fella yesterday. He was wanting his digger booked in for a service. And he's up in the hills, and he was phoning and said, "Oh, you maybe not can get tomorrow because it's to snow tonight." And at this point, I'm driving up the motorway, and I was in Carlisle, but it was like 11.5 degrees. I'm thinking, it'll not snow, or if it does, it'll not amount to much. Never believe it. Never believe it. Right, I'll get my boiler suit on, and we'll get this starter motor whizzed off. It seems like this is my second starter motor almost in as many weeks. So the starter motor fitted to this machine is also fitted to the DX19. To the best of my recollection, I don't think I've ever had an issue with the starter motor on a DX19, but I've come across these DX10s where it sticks on and then burns out, and then you get smoke coming out the engine. So obviously the first thing you do is switch the machine off, and then they don't want to restart again. Anyway, when you're changing a starter motor, first job to do is take the positive lead off the battery. Battery isn't very secure either, look. That's tight on there. I'll get a screwdriver in there and turn it so it opens it up and pull the battery lead off. So these are a bit fiddly, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, basically I need this off and out the way, so I think I'll take that off. I'll take it off there. Yeah, take that off, and then take the air filter housing off, take the pipe off that runs there, pull all that out the way, then you're right on top of the starter motor. So I'll just get that done now. There we go, and now we've got as best access as possible. It's not amazing but it could always be worse. I think the first time I did this I took the throttle cable off out the way, but I've done a few of these now, so I can just about struggle on with getting the wiring off the starter motor, no bother. But working on this, I can just smell like an electrical burning smelling the starter motor there. You can see it's had a bit of heat because the sticker's all wrinkled up, look. Right, so all it is 3 wires now, 2 bolts, and I'll show you how tight it is getting this thing in and out, because when I first did one of these, I'm thinking, God, the injection pump's in the way. I'm gonna have to take the injection pump off. This maybe isn't just a on-site job to be doing, like. But I'll show you. I've got it sort of dismounted, but if you look There, you can see the starter motor's got like, I wouldn't even say that was a millimetre gap in there between the back of it and the injection pump, but only just does it come past, you see? And then you can sort of do this one-handed, and only I've got two. Just sort of like wiggle it out. Let's get you zoomed out and it's not going blurry. Hang on. There we go. That is it removed. Yuck. That stinks of... You can see there, look, it's got hot. It's got hot. Yeah. Our ring gear looks alright in there, like, so. Happy days. Right. New one's in the box there. I'll get that opened up. Get a new one fitted. Yeah, the hardest bit about taking the wires off the starter motor, I'll just mention this. That looks like really soft rubber, but it's, don't know whether it's just with heat or what, but it's absolutely rock hard. And you can't like fold it inside out so it sticks out the way. I almost want to cut it off, but because it's such a tight space in there, you've got a permanent life from the battery there, like, so I don't want anything to arc out, so I'll try and leave them on. Got these bolts to run into this reservoir. Battery's back on. Now, I'm not 100% sure it'll start when I try it, because when I was putting the battery cable back on down there, with me jiggling the wire about, this battery cable ended up touching the positive on the battery. There's a little spark, not a big one, but I don't know if I've blown a fuse yet. So I'll grab my keys and we'll give it a go, see what happens. When these machines are cold started, they do like a little bit of heat, so all you do is turn the key that way. Glow plug light comes on, we'll just give it a bit of heat for a few seconds. I bet you somebody somewhere will know what sort of truck that used to be. I mean, a long time ago now. Hellfire. It's just about disintegrating back into the ground where it came from. Still got the steering wheel though. It's mad what you see these days. Right, see if it'll kindle up. I've got ignition, so that's good. I haven't blown any fuses. Starter motor works. Oh, it needs a bit more heat yet. Needs a bit more heat, but it's starting and stopping. There we go. Lovely job. Right, we'll get packed up. Get on to the next one. So obviously I'm back at the yard. It's just before lunchtime. I need to, I've got a couple of little jobs that I need to do here before I head out to my intermittent fault with my quick hitch. This 55W, is it a 55? 57W they call them now. I need to take the bucket off this because there's a wagon coming to collect this machine, and the bucket needs to be taken off it for whatever reason. There's also a 2.5 ton dumper going out on a demo, so I need to check levels on it. And there's also a Mechlac roller that needs checking over as well before it goes out. So first of all, I'm going to run this machine around the backyard and drop the bucket off. As you know, I don't do an awful lot with wheel diggers, and I always get confused how to drive them. That pilot lever up, that doesn't let me lift the blade. There's something else I need to do. That park brake off. blade going up. Can I do that? Yeah. Arm up. Dip her in. This one doesn't have... No, it doesn't have forward reverse on the joysticks, it's just on the stalk here. And then this foot pedal down here, there's a catch that you release. Should drive now, I think. Okay, I'm in the wrong... I'm actually reversing now, so my steering's the wrong way around. Just wait for that telehandler to move out the way so I don't crash. Oh, it's weird steering the wrong direction. Fair play to folk that can drive these ducks like, because I can't. Bring this round here. And now I should be facing the right way, that's better. You can see my steer wheels now. Right, we'll take this round the back. Weird. It's a weird... When you're used to track diggers, it's weird driving a wheel digger. Right. I'll catch up to you when I get round the back. I haven't been around the backyard here since the show last week, but hey, we've got some stock, look. That dumper there is going on demo. Just remembered that dumper there, that Thwaites dumper, the handbrake's stuck on it. That's a new 85 over there, so we'll go and have a look at that in a minute, because I've not seen... That's brand new, that, them new shape 85s. I'd be keen to have a look at them and see what they look like. Anyway, I'm going to put this bucket down over in that direction next to where our bucket collection is. So the park brake is released. I've just had it going. In first gear, you can just about force it to set off, but when you let go of the throttle, it just stops dead as though you got your foot on the brake. Or the park brake isn't released, so I'll go under here and have a look at that caliper there. See if it just wants lubricating. It looks as though folk have been in at it before, because that's kind of a clean looking bolt. Yes, I'm pretty sure I can adjust that nut there and back it off a bit. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'll set you up on this stand and you can see us rolling around on the rear. I'll give everything the spray off with WD-40 and everything's free now. Seems alright. I'll get out from under here. I'll try and move it. See what happens. Oh! Don't know if I'll get out. I'll have to move my van now. Oh, I thought I had a water leak then, but it's just running off the bonnet, look, or off the seat. Ha! Happy days. Good. Yep, that's cured that dumper. Right, WD-40, look. I'm gonna have a look over this new roller. It's going out tomorrow, I think. So we'll just check all the levels, make sure everything works. Oh, it's tight round here. Presumably that's the isolator. Is it? Is that the isolator? Yes. That'll be why it won't start. There we go, I've got lights now. I think I need to be sat in the seat, do I? Yeah. Go and sit on the seat. I put my elbow on the seat. Oh, marvellous. Here, get a bit more space. goggles. Got my grease gun, we'll grease it up and I'll run it flat out, make sure the vibrating roller thing works. Multiple times I'll try it after we had bother with that button on that last one. Check all the lights, green beacon works. Look, I've worked out that even with the ignition off, the orange beacon still flashes. So I'll just leave that off. You've seen that and it's working. So, find all the grease points on this. I would imagine it's just in this articulation bit. Where it's at. Right, it's all looking good. I'll get it fired up then and put my elbow on the seat. Get it started. Rev it up. If you're listening with headphones on, that sounds absolutely horrible. I won't do any more on the camera, but I'll just work it a little bit more. So I've just filled up with diesel. I'm going to head out west now to this intermittent fault with this quick hitch on a 27, and I've got that engine oil pressure switch on that dumper to do. Hopefully the site won't be locked up. Go and get it. So I'm at my DX27, it's very noisy because we've got a whacker plate going there. I'm just looking at the hitch, so sure enough it's working as it should. You press that button there, press that there, and then it's working. That is noisy. Another fault with it is the heater only works flat out, look. Need the heater because broke the window. Nightmare. But yeah, hitch works as it should at the minute. I'm going to sit here and work it and work it and work it until it doesn't work. I was just driving through the village here to get to this farm, and there's a lady with a looked like a large dog. And as I got closer, it was a goat. There was a lady walking a goat. Never have I ever seen anybody walking a goat along the street. Only in Cumbria, eh? I worked it for ages, every single time it worked, no bother. I've had the switches out and everything's okay. But I came up and chatted to him, he says sometimes he'll get it to unlock but it won't lock back up, so I think the spool down there in the lock valve is sticking. I've got one of them with us, so I'll fire that in it and see if that cues it. I'll also then have a look at this switch here for the fan, and also if I lift this pilot cut-off arm off, the machine's still live, so there's something wrong with that magnet down there. I'll probably need a fresh one of them too. It's gonna be a productive day, like. Right, I need to, you see I can track it onto here now, so I don't want to fall down there into the pilot. There we go. Steady away. I said that window's smashed. He was pulling the digger down the road in the back of his trailer, and he said I can't just shut it properly, and it flew open. That bugger. Right, I'll take this floor mat out now. So that there is the quick hitch valve, that one there, and what I'm going to do is do my best to replace it. Down in that corner over there. Fun. Alright, that's that valve done down there. I'm going to come on, torch. Torch! torch is coming on. I'm going to look at this switch now. By rights, that shouldn't let the machine work. Alright, so even with the, I was hoping it would just be that packed in. But even when it disconnected, arms up, look. Still doing it. So I should have paid attention to this, look. See, I've got the the lock light, which means I can't work the hydraulics. But obviously at the moment I can. If I attach that onto there, the hydraulics are now unlocked, locked, unlocked. So the wiring from there going through to the gateway controller is working. It's the output from the gateway controller that does the pilot cut-off solenoid. I think it's down here, can't remember. I'm trying to remember where it is on this machine. So this is my pilot valve block. That's my 2-speed tracking solenoid. This one here is the, what is it? Pilot cut-off solenoid. And when I unplug that all together, start the machine, it'll tell me there's an error code for it because I've got it unplugged. But bearing in mind the arm is up, the pilot cut-off solenoid is disconnected, that should not move, and it does. I do believe that spool in there is sticking. I'll have to get a fresh one of them, get that assembly, hopefully get a fresh one of them, and then we'll get a fresh switch as well. I'm going to pull this apart, just double check that it's this and not the motor. Making progress quietly. Pleased it's that, to be fair. I was starting to think, hellfire, have I got 2 wires munched together in here? And looking at where that wiring goes, it goes around here, down here and that way, and I was dreading opening up the harness to try and find where them wires have got pinched, so that's good. I'll get that sorted next. So I've just been on testing the switch that turns the fan speed up and down. So 80% sure it's the switch, 80% sure with what I've tested, but I've just looked up. It's white out. I'm starting to lose the van. Oh dear. Proper snow day. And it hasn't half got cold in the last half an hour as well since it has started snowing. Right, what do I need for this machine then? I need a pilot cut-off solenoid, and I need solenoid assembly, and I need a fan speed switch. Come back out here and do that. That dumper with the oil pressure switch that I said I might get today, I don't think I will. I mean, it's snowing like hell, but I can't. Well, it's 3 o'clock when I got out here, so it must be knocking on towards 5 o'clock now. I'm not going to go all the way over there for that blooming gate to be shut again, so when I come back through to do these 2 jobs, I'll get it then. I've also got a quick hitch ram to reseal, but the seal kit wasn't in. So we're getting that sent through. Loads on, like, loads on. Yeah, it really is coming down now, look. So yeah, I was right, it's 10 to 5, so there's definitely no point going and hunting that 9-ton dumper down. To be honest with you, better make tracks so I don't end up stuck in West Cumbria. Hell, fire. before I know it, I'll be walking my goat down the village. Oh dear. Right, I'll see you in the morning. Morning, it's Wednesday. I'm gonna have a day of catching up with some services. Hopefully I'll get 3 machines serviced today, and that's the first one there. It's a DX27. It's about 5-year-old. It's only done 240 hours, like, so it's getting its first service. So I'm going to get that done. I have a 160 high track in the woods to do, and ideally I'd like to get a first service done on a DX210 as well, if I can get up there. As you can see, there's a bit of snow about, and from here I'm only going to climb higher and higher and higher. So we'll see how far we can get today. But this machine obviously is 4-year-old, it's never had a service, so I think I'm just going to blitz everything, track motors, hydraulic filters, engine filters, everything, and just give it a good check over too. So we're going to have a look at it. So you can see it's still got the it's still got the wrapper on it. Yeah, 200. These hour meters are terrible to try and read. 241 hours is on it. So yeah, I'm going to set the travel motors up just now. These were a good old dig of these 27s, like absolute bomb proof, absolutely bomb proof. Very little issues with these over the years, so it'll be a good dig of this. Yeah, right, we better get cracking. So I know it was mentioned when I was struggling to get the bungs out of the axles on that loading shovel that other week. Obviously all these bungs have never been moved for 4 years. So instead of rounding off the Allen bolt, the bung, put your socket in, give it a good hit, hopefully that'll free it up a bit, because these are FT. Just gently, there we go. Nice and easy. Not worse than rounding one of them off. All there is lots more things that could be worse than that, but drain this in now. Yeah, the only thing about these 27s is they can be a little bit messy to service. The reason being, see the sump bung there sticking out. If you pull the dipstick out when you're draining it, the oil runs onto this plate here, and it'll run all the way down here and out and round here. It makes a right mess. Certainly wouldn't recommend, and I've done it, certainly wouldn't recommend draining the oil on one of these on somebody's driveway, especially when it's nice fresh tarmac or paving stones out like that, unless you put a big bit of cardboard down. Because try as you will make a mess, like. Been there, done that. Right. Engine oil filter isn't too bad to get to, but again, when you take it off, the oil will inevitably run onto this plate down here. So I'll get a fresh bit of cardboard and encourage it out the way. And obviously I'm using my 2 drain trays, so I've got an empty screen wash bottle in here, I think. Yeah. Topped up with screen wash the other day. I normally have 3, but I must have left one somewhere. So I'll make this into my next drain tray. So I've got the top of that cut off, pointing down. I've got my tray down there to catch any oil. My new filter ready. Got my waste oil drum ready to put the filter into. See how much mess I can make. Oh, that would be tight. Not been moved for 4 years. That's not too bad. Well, that went well. Caught the oil. Huh, that might be the best one I've ever done. Noticed got a Yanmar engine on it, and that's like a 3-cylinder version of that 6-tonner that I've been working on. All of that there just looks identical. So I know what I would find if I took that off. I know what I would find if I took that off. Marvellous, isn't it? Doesn't look just as handy. This wiring loom looks like it would be in the way if I tried to take this off. And I really don't want to take that off. But the difference is this one's got a throttle cable and a stop solenoid there, as opposed to having a extra bit of plate on for mounting a throttle actuator. Right, fuel filters next. What I do for the fuel filters is just put a rag in there to catch any drips. Do this one first. Air filters next. Don't expect these will be too bad. Right, next filter is a bit of a job in itself, to be fair. This is the return filter housing here. So to get this off, slacken them off, get it pulled out so far and pull it out and then lift it up. And also as well, you've got a rubber gasket here which comes with the new filter, and if you over tighten it you squeeze the gasket out and it leaks. If you don't tighten it up enough it leaks, and you can see there's a bit of oil about it, not much. But yeah, this is, can almost cause problems by replacing this filter. But I'm going to do it anyway. So you can see there what a clarty job it can be removing the return filter. So that's it out there. This is the bit that we are replacing. Just to note, there's a screw there before you take that nut off, otherwise you damage the threads. So I'll take this to the van now, put it in the vise, change this filter and put it all back together, hopefully. There we go, all done. Cleaned it up as best I can, and while I had that off, obviously you saw me, I topped up the hydraulic oil level because the arm's stretched out. Right, all that's left to do is put oil back in the hubs, put oil in the engine and bleed up the fuel. So yeah, that oil, it looks grey black like, but it doesn't smell. It really doesn't smell. Normally when it's that kind of colour you can smell it from a mile away. Yeah, right, I'll get squared up and I'll put some oil in it. So this 160 high track, it's just up in the snow line, and the road, the last part of it, he says is a bit sketchy, so we're gonna go and have a look, see if we can get up there. He didn't work the machine yesterday and the tracks seem to have frozen up, so we can't bring the machine down the hill. He says it's only the last 150 or so yards before it gets a bit sketchy, so we'll follow him up and we'll see how we go. Like, it's at the end of the world. If we don't get it, we can come back another time. I'm passing anyway to get to the next service, so but it'd be nice to get this one done and the next one too, so we'll see how we go. So we're going to reverse up the last bit. There's nowhere to turn around at the top, so at least I'll be pointing in the right direction for setting off. See how we go. Happy days. The last bit there is just the road's a bit racked like, so I was just taking my time, but traction wasn't an issue. Right, we'll get this digger serviced. We're doing a 1,000-hour service on this 160 today. Bit of a run of bad luck really. On Monday he phoned with an error code E157-18, low rail pressure. So he pulled the filter off, had a look in the filter head, and there was muck built up in the filter head. Cleaned it out, swilled it out, put it back on. It ran for 15 minutes, then stopped. So it's kind of not moved since the snow and the cold weather came down, and because of that the machine's froze to the ground. So we're sort of servicing it where we're at. If we can get it running properly, then we might have a chance of getting it moving. So yeah, I'm going to drop the engine oil while the oil's draining. I'm going to pull this filter off, change it. Obviously it's going to get changed anyway on the service, and I'm going to strip that filter head down and just make sure I've got a good fuel supply going from the tank, and continue with the rest of the service. There'll be another fuel filter, engine oil filter, pilot filter, hydraulic return filter, and an engine breather filter on this service. And if we get it up and running, we can do final drives. But I serviced this machine 500 hours ago, and we know that the oil in the final drives can do 1,000 hours. I just choose to change the final drive oil every 500, so if we can't get the final drive oil changed today, I'm not too concerned that it's gonna sort of overrun. We'll get it on the next service. Right, let's crack on with it. Right, the machine's running. I'll give it a workout now for 5 minutes and just make sure that the engine doesn't stall out and we get a real pressure code. The cloud cover's lifting, you can see how high up we are now. And to be fair, looking at that valley over there, it's fairly thawed out as well. Or even just looking at the road that we've came up, it's not as frosty as it was. 1:30 and I am ready for my lunch now, so we'll get this machine working out and see what happens. Right, that's that one done. Just all time lapses that service because I've been chatting away to the owner. He's a lovely fella, like. I always have a good catch up with him. Yeah, that's up and running. I worked it for 10-15 minutes there. Everything seems to be okay. He said he's not going to bother starting work today. He's just going to go home. Can't blame him, like. Can't blame him. Right, where am I going now? I reckon it'll be 40 minutes, 45 minutes on to the next one. But it's all going to be a big loop today, so shouldn't be too bad. Shouldn't be too bad. I do need to have some lunch though. It's 20 to 2 now. I'm getting a bit hungry. But I'll get down off this hillside, or I'll park up somewhere with a nice view and have a bite. The next fella's not expecting us till 3 o'clock-ish, so he's sort of working his way back up to the roadside. Right, I'll see you at the next one. So, I'm here at my 210. I've been chatting away to the driver, and I've also been on and off the phone, so I've not had a chance to film it, but I'm sure by now you get the idea. Servicing. I've done the hydraulic return filter, the pilot filter and the engine oil filter. Just a 250 hour first service. The machine's got an error code on it for the environment sensor, it's called, which is the sensor just behind the air filter, so I'll get one of them organised for it, and we'll come back to it and get that put on it. But other than that, the driver likes the machine. It's been going well. Can't complain too much. A bit wild up here, like. Have to keep the phone down here behind this big exhaust cover. But no, everything's going well. Can't complain too much. Yeah, I'll catch you back in the van. It is a cold wind, that. Whoa. Alright, that is all up and running. 4:45, I better pack up and get back down the road and get home. I don't think I can afford another late finish. So I'm going to point the van in the direction of home. It'll be about 6:20, but I'm pleased I've got everything done today that I expected. It's refreshing. Anyway, a bit of channel admin. So obviously you saw that I didn't get Monday's video uploaded until Tuesday. So when I got home on Monday night, had my supper, I did get the video edited, but I thought if I upload the video at 10 o'clock, or by the time it gets uploaded to YouTube, it'll be 10:30. Now if I look at my YouTube analytics, my audience is normally active between sort of half, or my audience is most active, should I say, on YouTube between sort of 4:30 and sort of 10 o'clock. So if I uploaded my video on the Monday night at 10:30, then my target audience, or my usual audience, wouldn't normally see that video until the following day. Now, unfortunately, that affects my channel, because YouTube sees that, well, in the first 2 hours that video's only had X amount of views. It can't be that good. His regular viewers aren't tuning in to see it, so YouTube then thinks, well, we don't need to push that video to a wider audience. Whereas when it uploaded on the Tuesday at 5 o'clock, it was one of my best performing videos in the first 2 hours in the last fortnight or so that I've had. Now I'll be honest with you, the sort of subscribers has definitely sort of tailed off over the last sort of month or so, and you know, maybe that's the content, or maybe it's I have been uploading videos a little bit later than usual. It might be the thumbnails not grabbing people's attention, things like that. But what I'd like to try and do going forward is sort of try and be a bit cleverer about it and sort of post my videos when my audience is most active, or when YouTube is telling me that my audience is most active. So going forward from now, what I'm going to do is put the videos up every Tuesday night, Thursday night and Saturday night at 5 o'clock every night. So what I can do when I put the video up, I can schedule a time and a date for it to sort of go live, so to speak. So there's going to be a bit more structure now to when videos will be uploaded. So yeah, there'll be a slight change there. It won't be a Monday, Wednesday and Friday. From now on it'll be Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. Also as well, in this video I mentioned that we're going to have a look around the brand new DX85 that we had in the ad. I've remembered that I've got the day off on Monday, so Monday's video I'll save that kind of review and I did have a good look around it in a bit of detail as well. I'll save that for Monday's video. So if you're driving the new if you're driving an 8.5 tonner and you want to see what the new ones are like, or you're driving an 8.5 ton class machine, JCB, Hyundai, Takeuchi, and you're interested, look out for that on Monday's video. Right, I'm going to point my van in the right direction for home, because I said I'd be back at a decent time tonight, and sort of 6:30 is borderline, so I better get going. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and for more bits and pieces, check out Ali's Digger Diary on Instagram and TikTok. See you in the next one.